Tati Westbrook has exposed the tea on her lawsuit again. Back in 2021, Tati announced she was shutting down Tati Beauty, her makeup line, as a result of COVID and also her lawsuit with her former business partner. Her ex-business partner, Clark Swanson, accused her and her husband of fraud, negligence, and a bunch of other stuff with regards to their roles with their business, Halo Beauty and Tati Beauty. In a couple of recent videos, Tati announced her lawsuit for the first time, which she's stayed silent on for years. So of course people want to know the tea, because that was a massive drama that happened at the time. It had also happened around the time Shane and Jeffrey got cancelled and James Charles redeemed himself, and then of course we all know he got cancelled again for the same thing he'd been accused of in the first place. So it was a super messy time back then for Tati. But yeah, now Tati is finally speaking out, but not really going too in depth about the lawsuit, just because that could have implications for her if she did. In her first video about the situation posted a couple of weeks ago titled "I'm Sick of It," she briefly dived into some details. For those who have maybe forgotten about the lawsuit, let me give you a quick update by reading out Tati's lawyer's response to her ex-business partner Clark Swanson's lawyer. It states, "Dear Mr. Smith, I have reviewed your letter on behalf of Clark Swanson dated August 3rd, 2020 regarding Halo Beauty Inc., Halo Beauty. It contains several allegations that are false and contradicted by documents, emails, and other evidence. It also contains several defamatory statements about Tati and James Westbrook. Although I will not endeavour to address every misstatement in your letter, I write to correct the overall record and make clear that Mr. Swanson has no legal cause of action against Mr. and Mrs. Westbrook. On the contrary, the record is clear that Mr. Swanson exhibited a pattern of derelict and irresponsible behaviour which breached his fiduciary duties to Halo Beauty." And then Tati ended up getting sued 4 times. When this ended up going to court, this is what Clark Swanson's lawyer had summarised about the lawsuit. "This is a lawsuit caused by the defendant's greed. Tati Westbrook, one of the first and one of the most successful YouTube beauty influencers in history, together with her new husband James Westbrook, planned a nutritional supplements business split 50-50 with Mr. Westbrook's old friend and colleague Clark Swanson. Before the business got off the ground, the Westbrooks, unhappy with owning only 50%, approached their business partner Clark Swanson and sold him on a deal. Give them 2/3 of the business, and in exchange, the Westbrooks would commit to use Halo Beauty as Miss Westbrook's umbrella brand for all her beauty launches, cosmetics, skincare, fragrance, all of Tati Westbrook's beauty products. Mr. Swanson agreed to these terms. Halo Beauty's first product launch was a great success. As a result, Ms. Westbrook became virtually overnight a proven, highly profitable product promoter. The Westbrooks made millions of dollars in distributions on the 16.66% of the business that Mr. Swanson gave them. With great momentum and significant sales, Mr. Swanson and Halo Beauty set out to launch additional products. The Westbrooks, however, got greedy. Instead of honouring their agreement with Mr. Swanson and honouring their fiduciary duties to Halo Beauty, the Westbrooks cut a separate deal to launch a cosmetics product, a colour palette, without Mr. Swanson and Halo Beauty. Future launches in makeup, cosmetic accessories, and fragrance were also planned separately and without Mr. Swanson or Halo Beauty participating. As a result, Mr. Swanson and Halo Beauty have been robbed of the benefits of the agreement with the Westbrooks, and the Westbrooks continue to profit from an agreement they never honoured. And in the dispute part of the lawsuit, we can see it went into a little bit more detail. In the fall of 2016, Mr. Swanson and his old friend James Westbrook and his then girlfriend Tati Crevins, Ms. Westbrook, decided to develop a nutraceuticals product that would provide beauty benefits to its takers. Ms. Westbrook offered that she could market such a product through her YouTube channel. After discussions among themselves, they formed a company named Inside Out Beauty Labs LLC. On March 6, 2017, Inside Out Beauty Labs filed for the use of the trademark Beauty Booster with the USPTO. Mr. Swanson owned 50% of the business and was the managing member. The Westbrooks each owned 25%. Mr. Swanson's educational, training, and experience were critical to Inside Out Beauty Labs. The Westbrooks did not have any commercial credit relationships, so Mr. Swanson used his banking relationships. The Westbrooks' poor credit history, including a personal bankruptcy, meant Inside Out Beauty Labs had to rely on Mr. Swanson's personal credit to secure lending and e-commerce facilities. Mr. Swanson even used his personal credit to lease Mr. Westbrook a Maserati Gran Turismo worth almost $200,000 for his daily driver. More important than logistics, Mr. Swanson researched and developed the product Inside Out Beauty was planning to launch. After years of research and development, Mr. Swanson identified unique or exotic ingredients and negotiated supply agreements that offered competitive competitive advantages to Halo Beauty. For example, Mr. Swanson secured the trademark Ceramide RX for a ceramide that was derived from rice, not wheat. He also used his material supply relationships to obtain a guaranteed supply of the ceramide from Oriza Oil and Fat Chemical Company, a Japanese-based purveyor of rice ceramides for supplements, skincare, and cosmetics. Mr. Swanson also developed a baseline of product ingredients that could be used in skincare and cosmetic applications. The Westbrooks, by contrast, had little in the way of proven business skills to contribute. Ms. Westbrook noted to Mr. Swanson that she had some business experience based on curating YouTube content. In fact, her business history consisted of work at a retail cosmetics sale counter, as a part-time actress and model, and various and sundry jobs. Ultimately, Ms. Westbrook provided some input on packaging and design, while Mr. Westbrook assisted with vendor selection, logistics, and quality control. So in Tati's recent video titled "I'm Sick of It," she said she'd felt silenced all these years from all the lawsuits she'd received from him.
I have not gone online and cried about it and complained about it or talked much about it at all. I've just wanted to be strong, move through it.
Tati also went on to discuss why the lawsuit happened in the first place and what went down.
There was some tension. People were not getting along. I had a desire to just keep the company moving forward and grow the company, and everyone would still have ownership and be paid. But clearly, we could not all work together.
So in Tati's second recent video titled "Lawsuit Update: What Happened in Vegas," she spilled the tea. She discussed her lawsuit, but without saying too much.
I can't go into specifics. There are channels out there that have gone into deeper specifics. You can find them, but I don't feel like it's the right thing to do to go into everything.
She then went on to discuss her quick trip to Vegas for her deposition, and she was initially scared at first because it felt like interrogation and there was heaps of documents, and so she had to be really switched on and remember everything in order to defend herself. Some of her fans were shocked to hear that they were actually quite misogynistic towards Tati in court, asking her inappropriate questions like, is she wearing glitter? Like, how does that have anything to do with the lawsuit?
The first question that I heard when I walked in the morning of my deposition was, "So, are you wearing eye glitter?" And my stomach was like,
So yeah, people were shocked to hear that she was asked that question in court. A fan commented, "I can't believe they asked if you were wearing glitter. Very unprofessional of them. Comes off very misogynistic to me." Another user wrote, "I would have been so tempted to say something like, 'Thank you for the views' to the lawyers, with that glitter shadow question. I know that was meant to throw Tati off with balance. We see everything you post energy." I'm sure Tati did well, and I'm proud of her for coming out on the other side of something difficult. If anyone's wondering, she did not wear glitter to court. They were definitely trying to throw her off. It was just such a misogynistic, wild question. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more juicy tea.